Everybody, and welcome into another Bastards post-game show. I am Nick. We have Brendan with the Red Sox jersey. Sometimes red means luck, but unfortunately, that does not equal a win once again for tonight for the Red Sox. We have lots to talk about on this episode here tonight. More questionable decisions made by Alex Cora, including the lineup card that was put out tonight. More questionable pitching decisions, issues with the bullpen again, with who's going and who's coming in, who's not. The Worcester Express trains running overtime at the current moment.
Oh yeah.
And I do want to talk about, might see a nice title up there. Red Sox headed for a civil war. We want to define that right away here because we talked about it a little bit last night with the whole mentality of the only way, at least from my standpoint, to fix this Red Sox organization and team was to sell. So you need a new owner. We appreciate John Henry for the 4 years. Don't get 4 championships. Don't get me wrong, but it's time for some fresh blood, new GM, new manager, just new identity for the team. So that got a little bit more clear tonight on that path to get us to potentially the promised land and fixing up these things. Brendan, I want to welcome you in. How are we doing tonight?
Nick, you're currently 6.5 games out. You just lost game 2 of the must-win playoff series for you against the Houston Astros. Let's be realistic. In all reality, if you're still following the Boston Red Sox, you are here for the Bastards post-game show. That is the only reason you're still watching the Red Sox is to tune in to Brendan and Nick
That's
covering this
right.
clown show in Fenway Park. The Red Sox, we were talking about how they punted their last 2 games against the Dodgers and the Astros to build their bullpen up for this upcoming stretch where this is the big stretch you needed them.
Yep.
So Brian Bello, he's at 82 pitches, 4 2/3. He gets pulled after giving up a run that was off of 2 throwing errors from 1 Raffy Devers and 2 David Hamilton. They had 2 shots. The infield had 2 shots to get Bello out of this inning, and they let him down completely. So you pull him out to throw in Joe Jakes, who sure did fine. But I'm not living on Joe Jakes' resume against these stacked batters in Houston between Altuve, Bregman, and Alvarez. These guys are too good. Cora on both sides of the pillar here is just out of control at this point. He really is going up against Chaim Bloom with his managing.
Yeah, I echo what Brendan was saying last night with a lot of you as well. Cora's basically saying, this is what you dealt me. What do you want me to do? You're telling me that I have to go with Kyle Barraclough. That's all that I can throw. So we're just going to let him sink his ship out there on the mound. And that battleship was completely sunk because it landed himself right back to Worcester. I don't know why they just didn't DFA him, but he's back to Worcester. I was so high on him earlier when he was pitching so great from Worcester. Just an abomination of what he did. Just awful. But the move today with Bello at 82 pitches going to Joe Jakes. Are you kidding me? This is what we Red Sox fans have had to sit on our couches to accept. The past 4 or 5 days, if your remote control hasn't snapped into a million pieces like mine, I question your love and your passion to the Boston Red Sox. I do. I don't have the remote that's in pieces at the moment, but if you need proof, trust me, it is in pieces. Believe me. I don't get the lineup that was made out today either, the lineup card. That's my other big point I want to put right on the table. Adam Duvall is as hot as a pistol. He continued that tonight. I'm so happy to see the guy get the opportunity to show, number one, he's healthy, but number two, also prove the point that you needed a right-handed thumper from what you signed in the offseason. Am I giving Bloom credit for the move? Maybe. I'm not going to 100% give him all of it because you were desperate. You needed that bat to your lineup to complement your Yoshidas, your Verdugos, your Durans, your all those guys that are
Lefty
left-handed. You
heavy.
needed it. You needed it. But I think what we're seeing here is a guy whose wrist is finally getting to the point of strength. So kudos to him for continuing the pace that he's on, which is great. Why he was batting sixth, I have no clue. Yoshida needs to be hitting at the bottom of the lineup, if not going on the IL. The guy is not durable enough to prove to a 162 game season that he's going to last the entire year. Something's up with him. If he's this hurt, shut him down. You got nothing else to play for, so you might as well get him ready for 2024. But what really stuns me as well, too, is this love affair that people have of Trevor Story. I don't know your views on Trevor Story when he was signed back in 2022, but I'm going to say it again. I never was a fan. I'm never going to be a fan. And what you see right now on the diamond is what you get. It is worse than I ever expected. I never expected the injuries and everything to mount. But all of you people who got super thrilled about this move, in black and white, there are things in baseball that they write down and they document called statistics. Statistic 2.0 here, I'm going to teach you all, is that when you play at a home field of Coors Field for most of your career in Colorado, and you are over 300 hitter and look amazing, please understand that the altitude and everything there, it's a different way of playing the game there. This goes back to his 2021 numbers, but they've also gone down. So I'm even going to say it's probably worse than what I'm going to say. The guy is a 241 hitter away from Coors Field. And that was good enough for a 6-year, $140 million contract. That is money that is flushed down the toilet. Bye-bye. You're never going to get your return back. So you gave him the money. Otherwise, you could have given money to maybe a player who actually had proven his worth and could have been here for the majority and rest of his career in Mookie Betts, who you just saw return from the Dodgers.
Yep.
So all this maneuvering that Bloom has done with going behind the scenes and saying, oh, well, we didn't have the ability to sign Mookie. We weren't at a win now mentality. Bullshit. Take it away.
Nick, I totally agree. You cannot pay Trevor Story $140 million to bat a $195 right now, only be a glove, and he's not even a glove half the time. Half the time he's DH and he's just swinging at sliders that are in the dirt. This guy's getting abused at the major league level. We have to see more out of him. This next year is really the year where you just say, hey, like, what are you going to bring us? Because you can't be Sale Part 2. More questions with the lineup, of course. Adam Duvall should be way higher. He's hit 8 home runs his last 9 games. The guy's unstoppable right now. He should be cleaning up when you get guys on base. Yoshida, I have question marks about, of course. We talked about it before. I mean, you can't go into a season with 5 DHs, and that's what the Red Sox are running. Jarren Duran's hurt now, so, I mean, you might see more Abreu and Rafaela, who are a little bit better defenders. But
you might as well right now, Brendan, because you have nothing else to play for the season, basically. They punted. They're done.
It's done.
So it's time to see what Rafaela can do. It's time to see what Abreu's going to do. Hamilton, I guess. I mean, I don't love the guy, but you know what? Give him the chance. It's at that point right now where you got to see that. The last thing I want to say on the Story thing, because we got about a minute to go here in our show. Please understand that, yes, I understand he was hurt. This is his spring training. He needs the reps, yada, yada. I'm at that point. I get it. But what you're continuing to see right here is a guy that has absolutely no business being in the lineup on a day-by-day basis. Last on that. Tomorrow afternoon is an afternoon game in the final of this Astros series. It'll be Crawford versus Alvarez. I believe that's who's going for the Astros. Any hope, Brendan? Any hope?
No hope. I just hope to see good stuff out of Cutter. He's a pitcher that I want to see again in the rotation next year. He's another arm that I want to develop. So I just hope to see good stuff out of Cutter Crawford, really. I don't expect the Red Sox to win. They're done.
We'll see what happens on the next edition of the Bastards Titanic of the 2023 Red Sox. We'll join you tomorrow. We feel your pain. Good night.